In Lesson 10, we will be talking about analyzing text structure. In this lesson, we will be analyzing the text structures authors use to present information. Remember that authors organize facts, examples, and ideas in their writing to make the concept clearer to their readers. Okay, so think about this scenario. Let's think about a teen that's trying to persuade their parents that they need a cell phone. So, first, the teen might explain the problems that are caused by not being able to contact their parents, especially during the day or at school. And then they might explain that the solution to this would be for them to get a cell phone. Well, this is a specific structure that is used in writing. Can you guess what type of structure it is? If you guessed problem solution, then you were correct. Now let's look at another example. Talking about the same teen, they could present the information in a different way. So they might explain the different types of family plans that would be offered and point out their similarities and differences. Well, this is a different type of structure. Can you guess which type it is? In this case, it's a comparison and contrast. So identifying how a text is structured can help you as a student better understand the ideas an author wants to convey about a topic. So let's look here. It says, authors build their text carefully, the way carpenters build a house. Like a carpenter, a writer first chooses his or her materials. In this case, though, the materials are the ideas that will be used to develop a topic. The way the author decides to organize those ideas, the text structures, determines how each part supports and relates to others. It also brings meaning to the whole text. Sections, chapters, and even paragraphs in a book or magazine must all be arranged in a logical way. So let's look at the bold text. It says, think about the kind of text structure that might be used in each chapter shown in the table of contents below. Also, consider how the chapters themselves are organized. So let's look at this. Here in chapter 2, it says solving the problems of heredity. Here, the ideas might be arranged to explain a set of problems and their solutions. In chapter 3, it says how DNA was discovered. Here, in this chapter, it might use chronological text structure to describe the way that DNA was discovered. So let's look at the bottom. In the bold text, it says, study the chart below and note the description of each text structure. Think about how each structure might be used to present the central idea in a piece of writing. So let's look at each structure. The first one is chronological. Chronological presents steps or events in time order. So what happened in the beginning all the way to what happened at the end. Then we have problem solution. Problem solution describes a problem along with all of its solutions. Pretty simple. Then we have cause and effect. Cause and effect shows how one event makes another event happen. Then we have compare and contrast, which points out similarities and differences between two or more subjects. When you read a text, remember that the author has made choices about the organization of ideas. Use the text structure to help you understand the relationships between ideas, which all help develop the central idea. Each chapter, section, or paragraph has a role to play. So let's look at the next page. On the next page, it says, from the discovery of DNA structure. So let me roll this down so you can see. So this is what it says. They were hardly modest, these two brash young scientists who in 1953 declared that they had found the secret of life. But James Watson and Francis Crick's claim was a valid one, for they had in fact discovered the structure of DNA, the chemical that encodes instructions for building and replicating almost all living things. Watson and Crick's discovery didn't come out of the blue. As early as 1943, Oswald Avery proved that what had been suspected, that DNA carries genetic information, but no one knew how it worked. Then, in 1951, at King's College in London, Rosalind Franklin and Maurice Wilkins were studying DNA. Wilkins and Franklin used X-ray diffraction as their main tool, beaming X-rays through the molecule yielding a shadowy picture of the molecule structure. So, it says, explore how to answer these questions. What seems to be the main text structure in this article? And why has the author chosen it? The way ideas in a text are organized helps you know what to expect and what is most important. Text structures may present events in simple time order, or they may compare and contrast details, describe causes and effects, or explore problems and their solutions. So let's look at the bottom. It says, reread the passage looking for hints to the text structure. Then complete the chart explaining why you think the author chose that structure. Well, when I'm trying to figure out the text structure, I look for clue words and phrases that show the relationship between ideas or events. I notice that in the first sentence, the date 1953 is used. Then I see another date in the second paragraph, 1943. And another date in the third paragraph, 1951. These dates might signal the type of structure. Once I recognize the structure, I think about why the author chose it and how it helps me understand the relationship between ideas related to the topic. So, I have to recognize which structure. Considering that it has dates and order, I can best assume that this is chronological order. The structure is chronological. Because this article is about the history of discovery of structure of DNA, the author wants to show the order of events that led to the discovery. So let's look down at the bottom. The central idea is the ideas of many scientists came together, leading to the discovery of DNA structure. The structure, as we said, would be chronological. The purpose would then be to tell what events led to the discovery of DNA structure. So now let's look at the next page. It continues on. Referring to Franklin's X-ray image, known as Exposure 51, James Watson is reported to have said, "The instant I saw the picture, my mouth fell open and my pulse began to race." Shortly after, Watson and Crick made a crucial advance when they proposed that the DNA molecule was made up of two chains paired in such a way to form a double helix, like a spiral staircase. For their work, Watson, Crick, and Wilkins received the Nobel Prize in 1962. Despite their contribution to the discovery of DNA's helical structure, Rosalind Franklin was not named a prize winner. She had died of cancer 4 years earlier at the age of 37. Now, if you look at the close read, it says to look for a sentence that shows the most important idea in the first paragraph on this page. So, you think you can find it? I'll give you a second to look. If you said, shortly after Watson and Crick made a crucial advance when they proposed that DNA molecule was made up of two chains paired in such a way to form a double helix like a spiral staircase, you are correct. This does show the most important idea in the first paragraph on this page. Now let's look at the question. The question says, how does the information in these paragraphs contribute to the central idea of the article? It emphasizes why Franklin and Wilkins believes the X-ray images would inspire other scientists. Well, that's not entirely true, no. B. It explains the makeup of the DNA image known as Exposure 51. Well, although it does tell me that it looks like a double helix, it really doesn't explain the makeup of what makes it up, so B is not the best choice. C. It proves the accuracy of the author's claim that the young scientists were quite brash. Well, not really. That's a weak answer. D. It shows how the scientists depended on each other's work to make their final discovery. Well, this is actually pretty true, because this is exactly what it said. So I can best assume that the answer choice would be D. Okay. Moving on. As this is independent work, now all you need to do is read It's All in Our DNA, answer these 3 questions, and then move on to the cold read. Good luck!